While for every 4 years, Nigerians head to the polls with hope in their hearts. Hope for progress, for change, and for leaders who truly represent their voices. Behind the scenes of Nigeria's democratic ritual lies a complex web of challenges. Voter suppression, electoral violence, rigging, voter apathy, weak institutions, and a trust deficit that keeps growing. Tonight, we take a closer look at Nigeria's electoral system, the laws that govern it, the promises made by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and why the credibility of our elections remain under constant questions. From missing results to manipulated figures, from judicial reversals to the role of technology and money in politics. This is a deep dive into the engine room of Nigeria's democracy and the cracks that threaten to stall it. Joining me into this program is Barrister Solomon Dalung. He's the former Minister of Youth and one of the promoters of strong places around the newly formed coalition and now political party under the ADC. Honorable Minister, you're welcome.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good evening, Nigerians.
It's been a while. You've been here, I think a month or 3 months or 4 months ago. And all of a sudden, there are a lot of prevailing changes within the political chemistry in the country. And your face has been shown virtually in every segment of meetings, stakeholders, engagement, and all that is particularly in the formation of coalition. What is happening? You've been a strong member of the APC. And in fact, you are a minister and one of the closest people to the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. And what is wrong with the former party, or rather the APC? I don't know. Have you officially left the APC?
Well, I will begin from answering in the reverse. Yes, I've left the APC in 2022 when I consistently drew the attention of the party from the fact that we were derailing considerably from the fundamentals of the foundation of the party. The APC portrays itself as an emblem of justice. So at the time I left, we were ardent promoters of injustice. The government was trampling and dancing on the sanctity of the rule of law. There were disregards and penchant for disobedience of court orders. And there were unlawful detention of citizens. But what even prompted my exit was the fact that under the constitution of the party, nobody is allowed to hold concurrent executive position. And you had a sitting governor of Yobe State who was supposed to be an interim chairman for just 3 months, ended up becoming a chairman for 2 years. We kept complaining and drawing the attention of the party, and it all fell in deaf ears. So I realized that those of us who honestly, genuinely believe that the APC was a vehicle for change were misled. And so I had no option than to quit. So I resigned my membership of the party and joined the Social Democratic Party, the political party I joined.
SDP.
Yes, SDP. I joined in 1989. So I went back to SDP. After all, every Nigerian politician who started politics long before 1999 were either in the SDP or NRC. So basically, that was what happened. Then as to what is happening currently, I don't know why Nigerians will always like to figure my face. Just a common Nigerian, a man who is living his life and thanking God for his grace. A man who I believe that we should have a better country than what it is. And I am not too happy. I'm also ashamed of myself because growing as a young person, I had the opportunity of at least seeing some better part of Nigeria. And if this country were like this, I would have been in my village, Sabongira now, or dead long before now. And if I were living, I would have been an old person, older than the way I look now, just like my colleagues are in the village, because I wouldn't have had the opportunity even of going to school. But the society was quite fair to me. And that is the reason why I will continue to struggle
to give back to the society.
Yes, for justice until I breath last. It's not because I hate anybody. But each time I remember what this society did to me, the Nigerian state did to me when I was a young person, gave me the opportunity to have education. When my parents were very, very poor people, they couldn't even have afforded it. And today, I'm living and watching the children, my colleagues, the children of the poor people, being denied access to education. They cannot even survive. They don't have anything to eat. Then should I deceive myself that I have the opportunity to get to where I am now and turn back on them? Certainly it will not happen. So that is my grouch with the Nigerian state. It's not that I hate any face, but injustice is my number one enemy. And let me put it on record for the sake of clarity. I became a victim of injustice at the age of 9 months. And so when my grandmother narrated what was done to me at that age, I knew that I was brought into a community that was very, very hostile to my arrival. At 9, I should have been expected to be innocent. But the Nigerian state realized that I was a voice that was anti-injustice. And at that age, there were attempts to stifle it, to even stifle life out of me. But of course, God continued to preserve and protect me. So the coalition, which is well misunderstood until on Wednesday, because even the government itself, with all its spy agencies and a group of mischief makers, undertakers, they were unable to understand what was happening. So they dismissed the coalition as a gathering of disgruntled politicians, and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, went to Makurdi instead of looking very sober, had the temerity to refer to them as internally displaced politicians. But from Wednesday,
not true?
Yes, but from Wednesday, they have realized that they miscalculated. The coalition was very strategic. It's a very unique coalition. I kept saying this, but nobody has taken me serious. I've been in politics since 1978, and I've seen so many coalitions. But this is even different from the merger of the APC. This is a gathering, a conglomeration of politicians individually who convinced themselves that they were dissatisfied with the state of the country and needed to do something, and started looking out for themselves and have a consensus that, look, we need to do something about this country, or else the country will be plunged into chaos.
Thank God you said do something for the country. You know, like you said earlier, that you're one of the prominent people that brought off the APC government in 2015. And you said it right here that you're disappointed, you are a bit deceived because of what you expected the APC to have done to the Nigerian population as a country. They couldn't do that. And at the end of the day, you left the party. How do you want to if Nigerians are sure that this is not the same thing that is going to happen under the coalition. Because you see so many places who were ministers in the previous government, to understand, a lot of people that hold positions and they couldn't change anything. How do you tell Nigerians that this is going to be a different ballgame?
You see, Nigerians need to praise these patriots who show their faces for change. They have no business just being in the struggle again. They have no business. They can afford to live comfortably. And if they also want to join the Emi Loco trend, they have higher stake in Tinubu's government. If I join Tinubu's government today, most of the noisemakers in the corridor of power will be displaced. Why? Because I have more than what to offer than them. And I have a higher stake in the Nigerian polity and goodwill. Most of them that are now shouting don't have it. So this group of people are people who are very fair to themselves. They feel guilty and not satisfied. That even as at when we are retiring, we think of retiring, we have not given the best to our country, because if we have done, Nigeria wouldn't have been like this.
People like El-Rufai, people were saying that had it been that he was successfully screened and become a minister in this government, he wouldn't have joined the coalition or even criticized the government in the first place.
I'm not a fan of El-Rufai, but many people are very, very on fire to him. I disagreed with El-Rufai in 2019 when he introduced the Muslim ticket in Kaduna State. But he's my friend. He's a wonderful and a fantastic Nigerian. El-Rufai did not pretend. He told Nigerians he was not interested in even contesting election after leaving office. And he said he was going into business. So El-Rufai, after his service as a governor of Kaduna State, was not interested in anything. I watched Tinubu during the campaign in Kaduna. He prevailed on him that if he was not going to join him in his government, he was not going to even continue with the campaign. El-Rufai was reluctant. He was blackmailed because he has now been set against the people. And the public in that town hall meeting kept prevailing on him until he finally and reluctantly went and joined him. So El-Rufai was not ambitious. He was only blackmailed. And if he had sought advice of people like me, I would have advised him to remain on his initial position. Because the history of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a history of a man who has nothing to offer, but he will always recruit brains around him to help build an empire for him. And once that is achieved, he will eliminate them. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hates intelligence and knowledge. That's why everything about him is very controversial. So anybody who is intelligent, who has integrity, that will want to have a handshake with Bola Ahmed Tinubu is like shaking a leopard. So I sympathize, as it is, I sympathize with El-Rufai because I monitored him, even though I'm not his fan. Yes, but I monitored what happened. So to be honest to him, anybody saying that if El-Rufai were screened, would have not been criticizing the government, is not an honest man, and is not fair to El-Rufai.
Okay, for instance now, if you end up forming a very formidable opposition to this government coming of election 2027, how do you feel? Are you certain the INEC, the electoral empire, can give you enabling playing field to maybe repeat what has happened during the 2015 general elections, where an opposition took power from the ruling party, that's the PDP then.
The Director General of the campaign of AGC is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Every day he campaigns for AGC. His statements, his behavior, his body language. Like yesterday, his wife went to Jos and campaigned for AGC. Because she went there and donated 500 million in a town hall meeting. In a state where it has been ravaged by insecurity. Our people have been killed. We have IDPs almost everywhere. The president has never visited Plateau State.
His wife is there.
But he sent his wife to go and donate money. The ADC had a swell with the visit yesterday because she went campaigning for us. The Tinubu's latest visit to St. Lucia is campaigning for the opposition. There is no government that is very easy to defeat like Tinubu's government. Do you know why? Tinubu's government is the only government in the history of Nigeria that drew a battle line with the poor. Tinubu weaponizes poverty, hunger, hardship, and insecurity, and he has no regret. He said it in one of his maiden presidential briefing that he has no regret. So the president of Nigeria doesn't care. That's why even when he went to Makodi, we had 200 Nigerians who were murdered in their sleep. He converted it into a rally. Children whose parents, friends, and relatives were killed were forced to line up under the rain with a Nigerian flag to welcome a president who was going to commensurate with a state. A solemn trip.
Would that be a show of respect to the president of the country?
No. It's a show of disrespect and mockery on the death of the citizens who died. Tinubu went to dance on the graves of those who died. And their crime was that why are they Nigerians?
When he didn't go there, people, particularly from the opposition, have been saying that he didn't visit Benue. And he went now, still the same people are criticizing.
No, we're not criticizing the visit. We're only saying that he went to campaign, not to commensurate. That's what we're saying. We're saying that as a president, he is expected to show compassion to the lives of citizens. You know why I respect President Obasanjo? During the crisis in Plateau, President Obasanjo landed with a chopper in a crisis zone where arms were speaking. He landed. That was a commander-in-chief. There are moments a president is the head of state, is the commander-in-chief, and the chief executive of Nigeria. So there are occasions that he is expected to show the father figure. But for this Iniloko chief priest, everything is about him. Tinubu's interest is that everybody should defect. So let me come back to your first question. Let me assure Nigerians that let the 36 state governors defect to APC. All of them should defect to APC. Tinubu should appoint Sheyi as the chairman of INEC. And INEC will be the last to defect to APC. We will defeat them in 2027.
How is that possible?
It's very, very possible. Because there will be no votes for them to even steal or write.
Recently, when they were celebrating their 2 years in office, they said they have done well. They mentioned the palliatives, other things. We have seen the president's son, Sheyi, going to most of the northern states where there's this insecurity and other things, sharing food. And I think it's one of they said is part of what they have achieved within the 2 years. Isn't that enough for the Nigerians to at least?
You know, the palliative administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is disgraceful and shameful. The son carries cooked food and disgrace and embarrass and insult the people of the North. Anybody who knows Northerners know that before the advent of oil, the Northern region was paying the highest royalty to the federal government, 5.609 million pounds. That was before oil. So Northerners are not lazy people. Northerners are only not ambitious people. They don't care about material accumulation, no. An average Northerner will only want to have what he will eat, and the greatest peak of his joy is to sit with his family and they eat together. He is finished. That's life for him. But this government that withdrew subsidy, 100% withdrawal of subsidy, Abacha withdrew 5% and was accountable. A military government set up PTF and was accountable. A so-called democratically elected government withdrew subsidy 2 years. No, they have not accounted for one dime.
They say they have channeled the
it's not about channeling. How much did you realize? And how much did you channel? It's called transparency under democracy. Accountability is coming out to say, this is what we have realized. Have they done that? Abacha is a saint and an angel compared to them, because he was even able to tell Nigerians, I will set a board of trustees and they will manage the subsidy withdrawal. This one just walk and say, subsidy is gone. He has not tell us how much has realized. Each time we hold him to account, he will tell us that he has been channeling the monies to the governors.
Even to the local government?
And to the local government. No account.
But in this case, who are to account? He has sent or given the money to the state governors and the local governments. I think it can be very fair to him. It's those governors and the chairmen of the local government should account for that money if they are told to receive that money.
President Tinubu should not think that we are fools. We had the opportunity of going to proper school. And we have brains. You cannot just tell us you have given the money. Where is the evidence of the money?
But the governors are not denying the fact that...
It is not incumbent on us to ask the governors. The person who collected the subsidy is the one that will give us account and give us evidence of giving the money to the governors so that we can hold them accountable. There was a time he said he has given the governors 5 billion for palliative in 2023. And we went to a town hall meeting with our governor. And I challenged the governor, you collected 5 billion from the federal government. And I'm coming from my village. I've not seen evidence of palliative. The governor said they were only given 2 billion. So this is the type of government that will tell you that they have done something and you will believe. There is nothing Tinubu's government will tell us and we will believe. Do you know why? Nigerians organize bad governance protests. Armless citizens came out in their number and were protesting peacefully. Tinubu went there with armed men, soldiers, and policemen, shoot and kill. And immediately after that, the National Security Advisor went on air to say the protest was sponsored by foreign countries and they had evidence. And that they have arrested the terrorists who were responsible, who collected money and were responsible. We were waiting religiously because I was the coordinator of the protest in the north. I was not arrested because they know that in my bank account there was nothing you can find. You cannot even find dollar there.
But we saw people brandishing foreign flags.
We will get to that. And then he went to the National Council of States where reputable elder statesmen were gathered and told them that they had in custody mercenaries and terrorists who were sponsored to destabilize Nigeria. We waited for 3 months, and then we were embarrassed as a nation, and we were even disgraced as parents. Our citizenship was insulted when we saw Nuhu Ribadu and the Attorney General parading underage children as terrorists who has collected money from a foreign country. They have malnourished them and starved them. And the children were so weak that they couldn't even stand to be arraigned. The judge had to run into her chamber. It became an international embarrassment. They now immediately have to withdraw the charges and pretended to be compensating and giving them 100,000. Is it this type of government that will tell you that they have given money to anybody and you will believe them? This government, if you are believing them, one day they will wake up and tell you that, oh, we have resurrection. God has come and has taken Nigeria. It's only we that are left here with. So we cannot believe them. If they want us to hold the governors responsible, let them transparently publish how much they have given every governor from the palliative fund, and we'll hold the governors and the chairman responsible.
But has any government particularly the federal government, done that before?
Obasanjo introduced transparency, monthly publication of funds accruing, and other funds that were shared to the governors. He was doing that. When I was a chairman of the local government, every month I used to assemble the whole local government and I will announce to them what I got from the federation. Until I left office, I did that. It's called accountability. So that I told them when I will leave office, you can use this figure to assess my performance, whether I have delivered or not. This government is shrouded in mystery. It has made huge revenue than even Buhari's government in 2 years, and has even borrowed more than Buhari's 8 years, this very government. So there is nothing about it that is transparent for us to believe them.
Well, if you are just joining us for the past 30 minutes, we have been with Barrister Solomon Dalung, former Minister of Youth, with prominent pairs around the newly formed coalition, and finally the ADA, who are ready, according to him, to take power in 2027. We'll go on break, and when we come back, we'll look at the INEC, the readiness of the electoral empire to give the opposition enabling playing ground in the upcoming election. This is Third Eye Africa TV, and the program is Political Crimes. We've been x-raying political issues surrounding elections, formation of coalition, and other things. Thank you.
We're talking about South and the North. You talk about middle belt. Currently in Nigeria, we don't have middle belt. North Central is what we have. And they are included in the North. If the perception is because Nigeria is standing on a tripod, you have Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, they are the owners of Nigeria. That is a very wrong perception. These are major tribes in Nigeria. Simple.
Yeah.
Nigeria is owned by every single citizen of this country.
If you go to civilized nations, they possibly have, stratified their political parties such that those who play at the national level are there. And at the local level, you have other minor political parties playing there. And it gives sense of belonging to every citizen to be able to contest.
And in fact, once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven.
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay.
This is Third Eye Africa TV, exposing crime, savaging the nation.
Hello, Mister. There's this nexus between money and evils, which have been the major bane of democracy all over the world. Do you think INEC is doing anything to save our democracy from money bags, especially monitoring election and campaign finances?
The greatest institution that has undermined democracy in the history of Nigeria is INEC.
How?
Especially this INEC as constituted under Professor Mahmoud.
It's the same institution that conducted the 2015
Of course, Jega at a point in time proved that it is possible to conduct a free and fair election. There is no any hope that this INEC will repent, because this INEC, as it is constituted, is pocketed just like every other institution is pocketed.
Is it the institution or its leadership?
No, the complete institution is pocketed. Not only leadership. INEC is in the Agbada with that cycle of 8 on the cap. That human being that wear cap with something like 8.
An institution with more than with thousands of staff.
Of course, Nigeria leadership is key to the determination of the operation of every institution. Even the presidency of Nigeria, the body language of the president is very, very significant. So INEC brought Nigeria to where we are. In 2023, in the history of elections, you can go and research. Nobody is ever declared a president with less than 50% of the votes. Tinubu got 34%. 34. And 66. He got 36, 64% did not vote him, which should have gone to a rerun. This same INEC under Professor Mahmoud adjourned collection of a results to the following day, 10 o'clock. And by 4 a.m., declared Tinubu a winner. And as at that time, Tinubu was still awake waiting for declaration when Nigerians were waiting for INEC to resume by 10 a.m. This same INEC under Professor Mahmoud went round and mobilized Nigerians. Technology was going to be used in determining, and the young people in the history of election in Nigeria ever participated in 2023 election more than any other election.
And they use Bibas.
They even traveled from outside countries to come and participate. And Mahmoud assured Nigerians that technology was going to drive the process. But because of the very corrupted nature of the technology of the mind of INEC, they switched off the server midway and introduced one offensive, criminal, and dangerous concept, technical glitch. Nigerians will never forget Mahmoud with this word, technical glitch. Nigerians that have lost their lives is as a result of this criminality called technical glitch. And at the end of the day, he declared Tinubu. Now, he has not changed, because all the elections he has conducted after 2023, it is clear that they are improving in their ability to manipulate. Now, the style of their manipulation of results now is to go to elections with prepared results, and at the end of the day, while coalition is going on, they are declaring something different. That's happening in so many places.
But, Honorable Minister, where are the agents of other political parties? Because generally, they should be agents of each and every candidate, each and every political party. How could...
You know why we are blaming INEC? Is that the way they manipulate the election in Nigeria, election is conducted peacefully in the polling unit. Results are declared. They are collated at the ward. At the state level, manipulation will begin. Now, at the state level, it is a coalition center taken over by security. So, the agents there At best, they will be shouting. But INEC will proceed to have his way. Have you forgotten the infamous, the incongruous, and the criminal statement made by the INEC chairman when he said, after declaring results in the night, he said, anybody who is not satisfied, go to court. And there is an East African adage that says, if a thief tells you to go to court, he is sure that the judge is his brother.
I think that's the only alternative. You feel dissatisfied with the result.
But is it in the place of the INEC chairman to show us the door of court? Are we daft or illiterate? You see, God catch him because that was his state of mind. He knew that there was going to be trouble and he was trying to pacify trouble. So, what is the guarantee for 2027? 2027, there is going to be only two political parties. The coalition movement and APC.
Where are the PDP and the rest?
Any other person dancing at the periphery is either recruited by APC to cause political distraction or is a sponsored destabilizer.
Including the PDP that has about 30 senators, about 100 House of Reps members.
No, PDP has been destabilized. Yes, PDP has been destabilized. Before elections, genuine patriots in PDP who were elected by the people will join the coalition because they knew that they were elected by the people and the people are already stationed in one place. Tinubu has drawn the battle line. Poor people, I will starve you with hunger and poverty. And his minister of FCT, that reckless, unguided statement he made, that after all, during election, with 2,000, we can buy northerners. It's the same statement Mrs. Jonathan made mistake that became a weapon to mobilize northerners, which he has made the same. So in 2027, let me advise those who will remain in the APC. They should buy helmets now because it's cheaper. And let me advise businessmen. Tinubu has already strangled the economy. But try to go into the business of the supply of a helmet. Because in 2027, those who will go campaigning for APC will need helmet. Not because the coalition will attack them, not because the people will attack them, but they are going to attack themselves because we have seen it in Gombe. Where stones were flying. The former national chairman and the zonal chairman, his zonal chairman had to abandon his agbada and join me because when I dress like this, they mock at me. But on that day, he was compelled to join me. Through Agada and escape.
But they have resolved that problem because they have relieved the...
Yeah, they have resolved it, but have they resolved throwing those stones too? What of the stones that flew? Have they resolved it? There are going to be more stones because what led to the flying of stones was injustice. And injustice has remained very inherent in APC. That's why I'm advising them, get their helmets ready because they are going to be a fight among them. There will be selling of tickets. There will be stealing of tickets. There will be the denial of tickets, and fire will catch in their party. We in the coalition element, we are busy trying to buy tankers to store water. And those who are living by the swimming pool, so that when they set their house in fire, we are honest Nigerians who believe in the country, we help them with water to go and to quench the fire they will set.
With the present leadership in the INEC that you've been criticizing, how possible is it for opposition to take power?
When Mahmoud will see the campaign going, he will behave himself and advise himself that he needs to leave. And if he must continue as INEC chairman, he will have to behave himself.
His tenure is elapsing by the end of this year. Probably someone is going to conduct the election.
Yes, whosoever is brought makes it even more merrier because he's inexperienced and is going to face a very turbulent election. That's why I advise the president to appoint Sheyi. So that if we defeat Sheyi, the Nigerian people defeat Sheyi and APC, he will know that there is no escape route. But 2027, the APC has no option than to surrender to the superiority of the Nigerian people because they have declared a war against the people.
There's this occurring indices where the ruling party are appointing partisan people to position in INEC. How do you think with this thing, the INEC will be transparent?
No, that's the problem of...
Most of the commissioners are politicians.
Yeah, that's
carrying members of a political party.
That's the problem with our presidential system. The president, by the provision of the law, is expected to be an elder statesman who will appoint non-partisan people as members of the electoral body. But APC has converted it into a compensation and dumping ground for political loyalty. Even some of the people appointed as commissioners do not have even any iota of integrity to be trusted with such a responsibility. All this is done because they want to return and perpetuate themselves into power. But unfortunately, like I said, they have conscientized and mobilized Nigerians with their very anti-people, anti-God, and wicked economic policies, and then their flourishing corruption unabated. You know, I'm so scared that if this government continues, the next criteria for you to be appointed will be your corruption credentials. Because your CV must indicate how corrupt you are and your capacity to be corrupt before you will be appointed, if this government is allowed to continue.
Well, we've been experiencing voter fatigue, a lot turnout during elections, and there was this call recently that they want to make it compulsory for each and every Nigerian to vote. What do you make of this statement?
No, they don't need to. They don't need that. That is just an escapist route trying to blackmail the process. Nigerians are so mobilized for 2027. Since the declaration, the unveiling of the multipurpose vehicle for the coalition movement, I have been carrying my phone with a power bank because of calls. I have even received calls from common Nigerians from the villages who said, "Oh, we got your number on Facebook. We are calling you. We are in this coalition." Villages. So they don't need to. Nigerians need this election more than them. 2027, the poor needed it more than them. And we have been advising the people. Anywhere APC is sharing money, anybody who did not go and collect that money, woe unto him. If APC call now that they're sharing money, I will carry my whole APC this thing and go and collect the money. But anybody who collect APC money and vote for him, woe unto him. We must disarm them. Where are we going to get money? They have stolen the money and hide it. What do the people need to be fed before they will go to eat? So during campaign, all of us are APC members. Nigeria should go and collect that money. That's why when you see Tinubu's son carrying food, the people go there. We are encouraging people because anybody we have caused any Nigerian who see APC sharing money and they will not go and collect. Is it their money?
Don't you think after collecting the money or any incentives, they will go?
No. That's what I'm telling you, that we have also caused anybody and caused the finger that collect money and vote for APC. That money is not their own. That's why we cannot leave them. Because, you know, there is an adage in Hausa that ignoring the devil with a very dangerous weapon is the worst injustice to yourself. So we must follow them. Like me, if they would have trust me, I will wear APC and shout and collect and let them wait for us on the day of election. So Nigerians should be rest assured that whoever is in INEC, whether it's Sheyi Tinubu, it is the Nigerian people. We have 220 million Nigerians. If Tinubu is lucky to have supporters, he will have his 6 million or 5 million. But the majority of Nigerians on the other side are a tsunami that nobody can be able to face. So nobody should deceive anybody. We are all Nigerians.
Most of our elections are being decided in courtrooms than the polling units. What do you make of this?
No, this one will not be decided in court. I'm not going to decide. 2027 is not going to be decided in court.
Why do you say so?
I'm saying this because of experiences. We've been to court with so many elections, and the judiciary had been manipulating technicalities. So we have also learned that it is them that should go to court. So in 2027, it's APC that will go to court, not us.
We have been aggrieved or feel like you have this satisfaction of the election result. Won't you go to court?
No, there will be the people that will be dissatisfied. Because we have experiences of how they have been manipulating the election. So we are prepared. We are mobilizing the young people. You see, this coalition, the coalition is not about anybody's interest. It's about the country. It's not even about sacking Tinubu or grabbing power. No, it's beyond that. It's about transforming our democracy, changing our leadership style, paving way for the future. So when they shout that, oh, they say, no. We are not even interested about any individual. It is the consensus of the coalition. We're not talking about individuals. We're talking about the country. We're talking about the future. If we allow Nigeria to continue like this, the country will be plunged into war. So we need to avert that ugly consequences. We've seen countries like Sudan. 3 years ago, there was a Sudan. Today, there is none. So the coalition is just trying to save democracy and save the future. How many years are we going to live? So it's about the future. And the young people should own the coalition. Because all these elders I have engaged and discussed with most of them, their concern is not even about themselves. They are looking at the future. What will happen long after they have gone? So the coalition should be owned by the young people.
Honorable Minister, some of them said the same thing during the Buhari's comment, that it's all about the country. A lot of promises were being made, and at the end of the day, nothing on ground to show. And Nigerians are still feeling, I feel like, let it not be the same thing.
No, those Nigerians feeling like that are those who are either manipulated or sustained by the APC. And I don't blame them, because a man with honey in his mouth cannot blow a dying fire. So we can understand that. The APC said change. That was the slogan of the APC, change. And after election, Lai Mohammed came with the concept, change begins with you. So he shifted the change, which was supposed to be for Nigeria,
it's a transition
to individuals. And then after 2019, it became next level. The next level which Nigerians went into, which they prayed that they will never have it again, then they found themselves in renewed hope. As they were trying to understand renewed hope, they understood that it was renewed hopelessness. But why Nigerians believe in the coalition is that for 18 months, coalition talks and engagement went on. Nigerians tested the credibility. Nigerians are not fools. Tested the credibility of the coalition. They weigh it alongside the current situation. And they have concluded that the president has said it is we versus them. It's Tinubu that is campaigning for the coalition, not us. I've said it before. So, Nigerians believe in the coalition. And that's why, if you ask everybody, like I told you, my phone has been buzzing since Wednesday. Even as I'm here, so many calls are coming. Nigerians are asking for a direction. Nigerians have some faces in the coalition that they believe in. They see them as symbol of hope. So they believe in the coalition. And we're not going to make the same mistakes we made in Buhari. We are going to give Nigerians a very credible choice of a leader who will be able to face Tinubu. We're going to do that with passion and compassion to looking at the situation so that we address the issue of the Nigerian democracy. So it's beyond what has happened before. Our mistakes in the past is what we seek to correct, and we are seeking to correct it with experiences.
We hope you are going to correct it. There are so many calls for electoral reforms. You as a lawyer and a politician, what areas do you think the INEC should reform?
Well, you see, in the court of the fowl, the cockroach cannot find justice. This National Assembly cannot embark on electoral reforms. The National Assembly, as it is constituted, is a chorister, a new local chorister. They will not embark on any honest, sincere, and genuine reform. So I don't want to waste my very, very precious saliva. Because whatever they conceive, however good in it, the moment they see Tinubu, on your dollar we shall stand, on your dollar we shall stand.
Are they saying dollar mandate?
No, maybe your ear is hearing it different, but the one my ear is hearing, Tinubu on your dollar, Tinubu, anytime they see him. So even if they intended a good electoral reforms, the moment they see their grandfather entering that hollow chamber, they will start singing, standing on the dollar, and everything will crash. So, which way out? The only way out is that the electoral laws as constituted, we will mobilize Nigeria to create sufficient pressure to make sure that they will have no option than to conduct a free and fair election, or we move to the next level. Democracy will be stalled. Because nobody is going to take anything beyond a free and fair election. In fact, if the coalition lose any election, free and fair, we will go and congratulate and celebrate with the winner. But nobody will fabricate any result or technical glitch and think he will get away with it. No, it's not going to be accepted. Nigeria will not accept it. And very soon, you will see, we will give them doses of real opposition. Because we will begin to protest some of these policies. Now that it's a political platform, it's not an opposition now that is in their pocket. We're going to be on the streets to demonstrate to Nigerians that we cannot allow them to get away with it. So we're going to secure the confidence of Nigerians. Anything, any mistake, will occupy the streets and protest, so they should know that we are watching them. A blind man doesn't know that he is being watched until he touches him.
Well, thank you very much, Barrister Solomon Dalung. It has been one rigorous hour. We've been discussing about Nigerian politics. We discussed about issue, the roads in the INEC, and the road to 2027. We thank you so much for your time, and viewers, this is Third Eye Africa TV, and the program remains Political Crimes. See you next week, same time. Thank you so much.